Okay, quick Wednesday morning radar update. So, inside day on the FTSE 100, DAX through the opening range high, inside day on the small caps through the opening range high, 250 threatening yesterday's highs, obviously through the opening. So we've got 3 on the floor, maybe 4 soon. Yesterday, the important thing to note yesterday, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there if you looked on any kind of social media. FTSE 100 held the previous day's low. It didn't even take the lows out yesterday, nor did the 250, nor did the small caps, the DAX did. So what do? We go straight to the transports and we compare the transports with the DAX, and the two were not agreeing. It's a bull flag and a huge volume in the transports. Moving on. Something what caught my eye yesterday, a lot of talk on SLP. So let's just, it's one that's been running a long time for us. An awful long time. So, we were looking at it down this area. It had this horrible volatility. I think you can start base counting again after a 50% haircut there. And active low, higher low, higher high. There's just, though it's not much of a stage base, it's definitely a base. 2, and there's a potential this is a 3 in the building. So, I'm trying to draw a straight line. I think the thing to point out here is one day off all-time highs. Did the fundamentals change in SLP yesterday to get all, I saw it on a few different platforms getting quite a bit of talk. Did the fundamentals change? Did anything change? No. I don't have the full forward numbers on this for the earnings per share pre-tax, but I've got the turnover and I've got the last quarter on quarter, half on half, whatever it is, and it all looks solid, solid contender. If you took stage 1, added on the stage 2, I think you're going to be pretty happy anyway. But why all the talk on SLP yesterday? Why were people flipping their positions? I think when you look at the P&L of it's the old, you're in a trending winner. Any excuse to sell it is good enough, I'm just laughing at the GameStop guys. That's not diamond hands, is it? Riding trends, you've got the the strongest hands out there until the trend ends, and then you walk away. Your exit strategy does that for you, so you don't have to get involved in this psychology. What people, it's like a disease. It's one person talks about it and they plant the seed in someone else's head, and then it's like it just spreads, and then everyone invents this reason why they've got to sell, and then you look back today and it's trading in the middle of the bar where it was trading yesterday. It's trading above where it was trading 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's like, did anything change? Well, it's rising on the last 50 days. It's still rising over the last 20 days. And that's a good, you see I use longer. Is it rising over the time period, my average hold time period for a trend trade? If that moving average, people get lost. I think here's something, what is insanity? Having an investing time frame or a trend following time frame, and then making decisions, thinking that throwing a 5 or a 10-day or a 20-day moving average and saying, well, it's falling over the last, in this one's case, it's falling on a 1-day average. You know, I think the top's in. Well, you know, you're just inventing reasons to sell winners there rather than, you know, a short term. At the end of the day, the top will be put in on a 1-day price action reversal. It will be. I get that. At the end of the day, that will happen. But if the primary trend is up, you know, that strategy will lose you more money over time than it will ever make you, because you will never ride a trend. So you have to have some, you know, in the game of top trumps, do not play a 10-day moving average against a 10-month moving average, because you know, it just doesn't work that way. So try and zone out of the psychology. Don't look at the P&L, ride the trend. You know, it is what it is. But it's amazing how people invent reasons to flip positions, and those they start in having a bad day. You know, the market's having a volatile day in a few stocks, and then it moves into inventing reasons across the board in anything, and usually it's the one with the most profit where people cut first. I do the exact opposite. If the market is actually, you know, pulling me out of the market because the market's getting bearish, well, I cut the ones what are near my entry and just haven't emerged, just bumbling around. I cut those first. So the exact opposite. Let's jump through the hoops. Not much to see in gold. Let's just go into the currencies actually. Here's another thing, you know, another psychology lesson. You know, this game is about turning stoners over where reward to risk is found. You just keep turning these stones over. This is, you know, nobody will be talking about it down here. Once they emerge, everyone is talking about it. I haven't looked at the price of Bitcoin today, but whatever happens to Bitcoin, anyone who turns their stones over down here, where in the reward to risk area, it could half in price tomorrow, and they're still killing it in the markets. So, you know, worth keeping in mind. It's like the Reddit guys, and you know, everyone you know, what do people want to hear? Oh, they want to hear about short stock, high short stocks, and that's what they will feed. You know, that's where they get the hits. What makes the money? Anyone who took that GME when the Reddit guys took it, you know, the early guys, absolutely killed it. You know, yes, there would be bag holders at the end of that trend. No, like a moth to the flame, consistently. This is what's getting talked about. It's in the rear view. It's trended. It's gone up 400-500%. How much? It could half in price. These guys are killing it still. Returns to where reward to risk is found. Start turning stones over again. So let's go to look at, you know, pound dollar. You know, this is where they will be talking about it. People have been trying to short this all the way up. They think the pound shouldn't be going up, but what does the pound do? The trend is up. Where do you turn those reward? You know, where do people who find reward to risk turn the stones over? Well, we talked about it here. We said, you know, you'll find reward to risk on the next pullback, and here it was, and that's what it did. So that's a huge move for a currency. So, you know, unless you're trading intraday, it's never going to help you on a trend. Radio silence, where the best opportunities are found. If you find the opportunity, no one else is going to be talking about it. So the story follows the move, always. FTSE through the highs. So I'm just going to go through the small caps today. There's a lot on volume today. It is now 10 past 10. We should have traded 25% to be on average volume. It will be about 37 to be on conviction. I'm just going to jump onto that. CNews best of the best. Let's just get back to my point on what I'm trying to talk about. If you haven't got a log scale, maybe try and find a platform what has. Do not use a spread bet chart. You need a correct log scale. I've seen log scales on spread bet charts what actually aren't log scales, which is a bit weird. But no, a log scale, because best of the best. There'll be a lot of shouting and screaming about best of the best yesterday, probably. Day before, probably. Today, what is it doing? Where's reward to risk found? You know, we talked about it there. Here, and going back into the first setups we had. But what is it doing? Well, it's going up over all periods. You know, I think you could put 20 days, it's kind of rolling over on the last 20 days. It's still up over the last 50 days. But the important thing is the primary trend is strong. So are you a swing trader or are you a trend trader? Make the decision. Do not, there's a difference between the two. One involves selling into strength, being shorter term, making multiples, compounding with speed of turnover. The other one is about riding out secondary trend moves and riding the primary move for big percent gains. So very different methodologies. Just when I go into a trade, I go swing or trend. I put it in that mode and I try my best to keep it in that mode. You know, there will be operator error. There always will be. You've got to be able to make money, including the operator error, which is me. So let's move on. Let's go straight into those small caps. And I've just hit the wrong screen here, and this one's probably gonna mess me up. I lost the connection to some of my screens on there. Right, go back to this one. So let's have a quick look through here what's on volume today. I've hit the wrong screen again. Try again, third time lucky. Got it, 25%. So we're still on volume. It's not the heaviest day, but I've noticed that the large caps will quite a bit of volume in the large caps as well. I'll go in order of sector. I've noticed the GTRS has got plenty of I'll rephrase that. When looking at the pullback zones on the GTRS, there's a smattering of pullbacks, not that many to be honest, but it means that the best stocks are still really strong today at this point in time. So I'll buzz through these. This one's lose more. Doesn't mean, you know, just because the fundamentals don't fit what I trade towards as a growth stock does not mean they're not trending. This one I've got no forward numbers for. We did have forward numbers when it went through the setups. It's trending a little bit thin, a little bit low beta, but I don't think anyone will be complaining about that. This is a return to growth. Moving on. Tick up in growth. Sorry, tick down, tick up in pre-tax. Turnover ticking up slightly, probably decelerating, I'm not sure. Fire Angel moving on, no forward. Lose less scenario, no forward on these either. Obviously we looked at the setup on that. We had 2 swing points in the last month, didn't we? Ramsden's moving on, no forward numbers for any of these. Return to profit. Tick back up in profit on that one. No forward numbers. ULS. This has got, doesn't tick what I trade towards, that one. I'll just move on. Tick back up. Thin stock, isn't it? Mining. Let's just buzz through these. We had a look at that one, didn't we? I never got any further than looking at the chart, to be honest. I know nothing about it. Lose less, that one. Big tick down in the forward numbers. A smattering of oilers in the screens today. There's a chance this one's got some fantastic forward numbers and it's not responding. I don't know when those numbers are due. Is that yeah. I think that there is a chance this one just goes sideways in a big base in action rather than trades towards those numbers. You know, I haven't got a crystal ball, but it doesn't seem to be trading very nicely. Though we did have a cheat set up on it, didn't we? REITs started popping a few weeks ago, didn't they? I think, you know, inflation will probably sort itself out. Probably fade back in. But we don't trade on probablys. Netcall, fantastic. Hard to sort of, you know, I wish I had some cash to buy that one at the time, to be honest. But I didn't. Best of the best. Outside up today. And S4, that one had a huge run, didn't it? I'll just take the log scale off so you can see. You put the log scale on and it actually, the curve kind of decelerates. Usually when you put the log scale on, it goes really, you know, the log scale gives the really clean trend. But in this case, it's deceleration on the log scale. But obviously not for me anyway. So back to 250 through yesterday's highs. Go figure. DAX bumped into yesterday's highs. Okay, we'll see how today goes later in the screening session. Leave it there.